you're coming into a new country, and trust me, you don't understand that country more than the locals themselves. There's no way you will know the Philippines more than the Filipino. It's his country. He was born here. He was born here. He went to school here. He knows everything. He knows most things that you don't know well, to an extent. And so if you're coming over to the Philippines, there are opportunities here in this country. So many opportunities. I'm just going to cite some.
Hello guys, how are you doing? It's your homeboy Guy. Good morning everyone, or good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm perfectly fine, perfectly okay, perfect afternoon. I'm going back to the old school video. Maybe I'm not working right now, but you know those videos where I get one foreigner, I bring him here in front of the camera, and then we just start to talk about everything, but especially focusing on the Philippines. And today, I don't think it's a secret. It's really someone that I know from very long right now. I think more than, I don't know, 15 years. But he's also in the Philippines here right now, and he's here for quite long already. How long have you been in the Philippines?
That's gonna be 9 years.
9 years, okay.
Years.
So before we jump to the normal conversation, let's go first with the formality. Can you introduce yourself first? I know most of people doesn't know you. I perfectly know you, but I'll let you introduce yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Metuge Koge Ejatin Manito. I'm a Cameroonian by nationality, and I currently work for Amazon as a senior financial analyst in the accounts receivable department. I'm also a doctorate student in business administration at Jose Rizal University. I'm in my second year, and I am married. I have a child, and I'm 38 years plus. So that's basically a little summary of me.
Okay. I hear a lot of stuff here that we're going to chop into small conversation, but I usually ask that for most of the people that comes here is why brought you in the Philippines? I'm not going to ask why you're in the Philippines right now, because you say you're already married, so you have a good reason to be in the Philippines, obviously, because you are married. But what brought you in the Philippines here? Like you said 9 years ago. That
yeah, 9 years ago.
So what was the reason why you choose Philippines?
All right. So that's a very good question. That's a very good question. I like that question because it helps us to understand the genesis as to why you came here in the first place. All right. So I'm just going to be honest here, right? Because I know honesty is something which is very good. It shows your character, and everybody appreciates honesty. So when you came back to Cameroon in 2013, was it 2013? You came back, I think it was between 2012 and 2013.
Actually, I went back, I think it's all 2013, yes.
Yeah. When I saw
That's
you,
the first time that I went back in Cameroon.
Yes, when I saw you the first time you came back to Cameroon, I was perplexed. I was like, wow, Guy is looking so good, and he's playing basketball, he's looking so good. And I remember after a particular game, we were going back home. We were in somewhere around Etudi, which is not far from the basketball court.
That's old school, old basketball court.
We were going back home, and I asked you a question. I said, Guy, I don't know if you remember it. I asked you because I said, Guy, are there schools, are there universities in the Philippines which can accept me to come over and do a degree? And then you told me most of the universities, they speak English. The universities, the courses are in English. You can come over and study, and that's where everything started. And I told myself, why not go to the Philippines to study and play basketball? And so the reason that motivated me to come over is because I wanted to do both. I wanted to study in the college and play basketball at the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was like, we're going to say basketball and study.
And studies, yes. I wanted to do both.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's the same also reason like mine, because when I went here actually, but mine was 2012.
Yes.
Was also for the basket and the study.
Yes.
And when you arrived here, you went for study, and which college did you start?
Good. So when I came over to the Philippines, the first thing I did was I went and did a certification program somewhere around Makati here, and it was in Rufino Plaza. I did a certification program which was in the TESDA course in bookkeeping and payroll. Okay. So once I finished that course in bookkeeping and payroll, that is where, because I had to first of all enter into the system, the Filipino system. So I got into the system, I mastered what was going on, and then I went straight to Arellano University and did a master's. So that's how I entered into the college.
So you start master right away when you arrive, right?
Straight away.
After
finishing the,
you went to
I went
master.
straight to master's degree.
How long does it took you to get your master here in the Philippines?
That was, I started my master's June 2016, if I remember very well, and it took me roughly 2.5 years.
Okay.
2.5 years, yes.
So let's say around 2016, you finished with your, like 2015,
No.
that you finished your master?
No, I started 2016 and around December 2018. So entering to January 20. So let me say entering to January 2019.
That's the moment that you got your master.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
I see.
Like 2.5 years, something like that.
But how about basketball? You didn't push with basketball?
No, I pushed through because what actually,
because you used to play basketball.
Yes. This is what happened. This is what basically happened. So the first time I went to Adrian University, I went straight. I remember a few days after, I saw how do you call him? Ongolo.
Eli, yeah.
Eli was still playing for the Adrian University back then.
Yeah.
And so I used to see Ongolo train on the court. And so one day I told myself, I will go and speak to the coach. That was my first year masters. Because I had this plan back in my mind. I will play my basketball, I will be doing my masters, and I will play NCA. Yeah, the plan was still operational.
NCA is one of the big leagues here in the Philippines.
Yes.
For those who are not living here in the Philippines, they have UAP and NCA. These are the most biggest league for college player.
Good. So I went straight to the coach and I told him, sir, I would like to play for Adrian University at the NCA level. And then the first thing he asked me was, what level, what course are you doing here? I said business administration.
Okay.
Then he told me, are you doing a first degree or a master's? What are you doing actually? I told him I'm doing a master's. And then he told me straight away, master's students are not accepted in the NCA team. So for those who play the NCA are those in the first degree. Once you're in the master's, you're out. You're eliminated. You can't join.
So now, how the transition happened between the school and the work? I mean, after you got your master and after the master, how did you jump in the active life in the Philippines? Because right now you're working, you say for Amazon.
Yes, Amazon.
Was it your first company, or since you arrived in the Philippines, or you have changed couple companies?
I've changed like 3 companies already.
Okay, 3 companies. Yes. How the transition happened?
From the masters into the So that's a good question. When I finished my masters,
because I want to know. So the question probably some people want to know is that for someone who come from a French country, of course you're speaking English also.
Yes.
Is it easy for a foreigner like you finishing a master to just start working in the Philippines? Is there position jobs easily for people like you?
All right. I would say that the masters in business administration is a course which permits you to have a lot of jobs in the Philippines, and I'm going to explain further. Okay. Because in business administration, there are many courses that you do. There's finance. Yeah. There's marketing. There is finance. There's marketing. There's also management of human resources. It's also one of the courses. HR, management resources. So what you will notice that in the Philippines, for foreigners, for example, those who are speaking French, there are the jobs that are mostly predominant in the country are customer service, IT, finance, and HR. Okay. So in business administration, you're going to do a course in finance. You're going to do a course in marketing. You're going to do a course in HR, human resources. So when you leave there, it's easier for you to have a job, because when you put your resume and you show, for example, when they ask for your, for example, when you put your resume, they know already the courses that are found in business administration.
Oh, I see.
So meaning that when they are taking you, they know already in which department they will send you. They can send you in finance, they can send you in marketing, they can send you in HR, in human resources. They know already because they know what you've studied.
So right now you're working in the Philippines for like how many years we can say?
So I've been working in the Philippines I started working here in 2015. So that's been like roughly actively working, permit me to say this is like almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years.
Yes, almost 6
now,
years.
I'm interested to one thing. Before you start working, because I'm not going to ask it when you're already working, it might be easy. But before starting working as a student, how was the rent? The living style in the Philippines. Is it an expensive country for a student? Is it an affordable country? The rent? If you can, it's okay if you want to disclose it, but how much was the rent at the moment that you were still student? maybe some people here want to come here and then they may want to have an idea of maybe how much they were, you were handling monthly in order for you to survive as a student.
Yeah.
By that time.
That's a good question, Gay. That's a good question. You know, I'm gonna be honest again. You know, because that's what's gonna make the originality of the video.
Yeah, of course. You want to know what's really happening.
People need to know what is happening,
so that they know exactly what to expect.
You know, when I came here.
But let's say that was 9 years ago.
Yes.
So maybe the number has,
the cost of living has increased.
Has increased maybe a little bit, but you can give us the idea.
I will give you
9 years ago.
Yes, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, 9 years ago. So, my brother who was living in France, Samore Metuge Mesango, my brother. Shout out to my big brother who was in France. He was the one sponsoring me in the Philippines when I came in 2015. And I was still doing my test certification program. He was the one sponsoring me. And I remember he used to send around between 900, because euros was between, not 900, sorry, it was between 300 to 400 euros per month. Per month. And my rents, and when I used to convert it, it used to give me around that kind of 20,000 pesos. My rents back then was 7,000.
Monthly. And that was like a studio type, like
studio, one room,
oh,
one bedroom, one kitchen.
For 7,000 only.
7,000.
One room, one kitchen.
Yes, no furniture. You had to, put in the furnitures and everything in it.
7,000 for those who want to make conversation. I mean, it's like a little bit more than 100.
Less than
euro or something like that. You can do the math, but around that price, less than 150 euro.
Yes, that was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And my food, my feeding back then, I still remember, could cost between because I was really managing as a student, and my feeding back then was between 4,000 to 5,000 pesos a month. So when you add those two, it used to be 7 plus 5, 12,000 out of the 20,000. So 8,000 used to remain. And in that 8,000, I used to, my transport fee, maybe buy some few things left and right.
Yeah.
By the time I do my expenses, I used to end up with like 2,000, 3,000 extra in a month. That is excluding the school fees which my brother used to pay. So I'm not talking about
definitely the school fee are not included.
I can't even include that.
So definitely 20,000 pesos was enough to pay the rent, to pay the food, and some little stuff,
and take me around,
and transportation, except of course the school fees. And by the way, I think 20,000 can easily be the average salary.
Yes,
for Filipino, right? For local here,
goods.
There are a lot of people that are even earning less than 20,000.
12,000.
Yes, 12,000. Some work in the mall and something like that, cashier.
Yes.
Sometimes they can earn less. So if you are earning 20,000, I think for a local, it's
for local, definitely you're okay.
It's okay. It's like an average living. Okay, so 20,000. So that was around 400 to 500 euro. Now, you already got your certificate. You're already now in the business. Start working.
Yes.
I want to ask first, how's the relationship here between foreigner and Filipino when it comes to work?
Good.
I mean, the culture. Are you like, is it easy to deal in the office? The culture. Are you, too much difference? Are they speaking the language in the office? Since you're speaking English, I know they also have Tagalog here.
Yes.
Do you speak, the same language?
Okay. Yes, this
or
question,
your integration as a worker.
Yes, so this question I'm going to answer it very well to the best of my knowledge, and I hope those listening to us can really listen carefully to what I have to say here. This is based on experience. The first thing I have to say is that we foreigners that come over to the Philippines, we are in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I will repeat again myself. We are in the Philippines. So you're no longer in your country, you are in the Philippines. And so when it comes to integration in the office, I would say the relationship between the Filipino and the African or the foreigner in a general sense is friendly. Well, I'm not saying this just to hide facts. I'm saying this because the Filipino by nature, and I've always said this and I've said to many people, is friendly. You can come to the street, you don't you don't know where to go, you ask the Filipino the destination. He stops and he tells you the destination. Even if he doesn't know, he tells you go left, you go right. He will stop and listen to you and tell you where to go. You ask any guard, he stops and he answers you. There are people who they will respond to you when you ask them a question. So they're friendly. And that is the reason, again, just to prove my point, is the reason why the highest, if not the country which has the highest amount of nurses in the world internationally is from the Philippines. It is because they are customer friendly. That's one of the main reasons why they have so many nurses in Germany, in Britain, in
around the world.
Italy, yes, in the US,
even in the Middle East.
In the US, yes. Okay, so coming back to work, the relationship is a friendly one. However, as a foreigner, you must know how to integrate with them, because the differences in the culture could make it in such a way that their jokes could look like an insult to you. The way they function with you could look like an insult to you, which is basically not an insult to them.
Yeah.
For example, if a Filipino is in the office and he wants to call him, I say, come. For example, now if you don't understand that, this doesn't necessarily mean that he's belittling you. You might think that he's speaking to you in a very hostile way. Yeah. I say, come and see. For example, your team lead, come. You might think it's an insult, but it's not. It's just the way of addressing someone, like a workmate. That come and see your work, come and see something, come and see this work. Can you explain to us what's happening here? So the relationship is generally friendly, but it is the role of the foreigner to understand how they interact.
Yeah, the culture.
So that you don't mistake certain actions for insults, which might happen if you don't try to understand what's going on, particularly as their culture is a little bit different from the other. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah, you know, that's I mean, even on this video, I'm sure I'm going to see some comment that's going to appear also, because I have a couple of videos where I was saying that Filipino are friendly and things like that. I even have some Filipino who comment that, oh yeah, usually you guys are saying that when you guys are in the Philippines. And once you guys are exiting the Philippines, you're going to change your narrative. You know, it's going to be no, Filipino are not good people and things like that. But really, for those who know me, yes, I respect people, but I also usually speak up my mind and say what I think. And I think on most of my videos, that's something that I totally agree with you. Filipino are very warm people. As a basketball player, before, when I was walking in the street, that's the first country where people was calling me idol. I didn't even know why. I wasn't even famous. Even in the airport, I have a story on some video there where I said that in the airport, I arrive, I don't know anybody, the guard look at me, start laughing. While me, I have a pressure of entering the country. I don't know what's expecting there, but the guard is already like, you know me somewhere, do some basketball move. And that's make it, you know, it's like icebreaker.
Yes, you calm down.
You calm down, and then definitely you want to start have interaction. The other thing that also here, and I'm going to ask about it to you, is because one of my previous videos I was talking about investment, and I hear some comments saying it's good that you're married with a Filipina. I hear some comment where people were saying that yes, it's good to invest in the Philippines, but how can you suggest people to invest and also be with Filipina as partner, especially Filipina, because I didn't hear that much about Filipino. But I was hearing, I was hearing a lot about people being a little bit afraid to, you know, engage themselves with the Filipina, especially when they start owning stuff, business and things like that.
Very good question.
Because it seems like the way they have been treated, I don't know, I'm not married to the Filipinas, so I'm just interpreting what they're saying. The way they have been treated, or they have here some cases, they think that it's not that much a good idea to, you know, to get engaged with a Filipina here. So I wanted to ask you, how is it the life with a Filipina, you know, as a foreigner coming from Africa, you come here, you get married, and I think you even have a child right now, right? How is it the daily life? Do you have a pressure? Hey, I'm going to kick your ass and things like that. How is it?
Well, I'm going to say that marrying my wife was a blessing coming from God, and it was a blessing because my life has changed positively since the day she came into my life. And I'm going to say it here. It changed positively, mentally wise, spiritually wise, and even physically wise, because I'm working out. I do long run marathons. I'm in good health. She's supporting me, and she helps me to prepare for my marathons, for my long distance running. And coming back to the question, this is what I have to say. Marriage, for me personally, I'm talking from my own point of view, has nothing to do with the race. It has everything to do with the person you marry. Meaning that if you marry the right person, even if that person, I'm just going to give a crazy example, is from Neptune, from Mars, from the moon, from a different planet, if you marry the right person, you are a happy man. In fact, in the Bible it said, if you find a good woman, you find a good thing. So, coming to those who are generalizing,
they are like afraid in general of women here, feeling
based on what I've heard,
they have been trapped and stuff like that,
and all these things. What I have to say is that in every country in this world, there are good and bad people. Every country, even back in the home country in Cameroon, there are good and bad people. And guys, do not be afraid. What instead you have to do is that marry or date the person you really love, whom you're sure loves you. Because one thing is sure, if that person is the right person, you are okay. Whether it's a Filipina or whether it's, doesn't matter the race, you're fine. So it comes back to, who is the person you are dating? Who is the person you got married to? Did the person qualify according to your criteria? And if the person qualified according to your criteria, you are fine. So coming to my wife, it's been a total blessing, as I keep on saying it. We've been married for 5 years now. We're going to 6 years. We have a son. Shout out to my little baby boy Aguila. One day he's gonna see this video when he's big.
Sure,
so,
definitely.
Yes.
So that means for you, these people who often say that, oh yeah, I get with this woman, she took all my wealth. I went with this woman and then she, she trapped me. It's more subjective, and it's more like, like you put it in the sense that there are good and there are bad everywhere. Don't expect that everybody will be perfect, but you can find the right one.
Exactly. For those who were trapped, who fell into trouble, who had problems with the locals here, with locals here, for example, they were dating and they got trapped by this or whatever, I would just say they were with the wrong people.
I have some cases of people who have raised some complaint, and honestly, I'm not going to go into detail, but when you go, like I think you have mentioned that earlier, when you go to some country, it's your duty to know the culture, the codes, and how everything works.
It's your duty.
Right?
It's not their duty. It's your duty.
Yeah, I mean, it's you who has to acknowledge how it works in the country where you go.
Yes.
For example, that instance was a bus. We went to the bus, and I think, well, the bus was relatively calm. And you know when sometimes you're talking, we usually talk, it's a bit loud, right?
Yeah.
And there is somebody just who, on the bus, who just changed seat. And the person was sitting beside just told me that, assume that the reason why the person changed it is because of the color or because the person was foreigner, right?
Thank you.
But in that instance, and the people already remind me already told me that many times, even when you're talking, like, are you guys fighting? Are you guys arguing, right? Because we usually talk with passion.
Our tonation is high.
The tonation is high, right? And if you arrive maybe in the bus where everybody's calm, quiet, you start raising voice, it's clear that around you, everybody will
it makes
move,
sense,
right? And then you might stay alone, and then at that moment you just start thinking that there is maybe discrimination or so on. So that's also something that I think some foreigners need to understand, that coming somewhere, before when I arrived I wasn't speaking Tagalog. Now I'm trying, because I believe that saying Magando, Maga to foreigner, it's already, to a Filipino, it's already breaking the glass, right? Even if it was a little bit looking like
you're breaking the tension,
person, right? You say Magano, Maga, or Maganda upon, it's making, and I know some people have 12 years in the Philippines,
Can't
5
even say
years.
a word.
They cannot even say good morning.
Good morning.
Man, right? They cannot
Yes.
even say a good morning in Tagalog. I mean,
Yes.
it's not an obligation. But at
you
the
must,
same
you must know
time,
the basics.
right?
At least you know
I
the
think at the
basics.
same time, if you want to make it also,
In this country, you need to know at least know the basics.
yeah, if you want to make it a little bit easy for you, you also
Yes.
need to know the basics.
At least the basics.
So I think on that one also we are totally
It is,
aligned.
yeah.
Okay, now you're working on it for 9 years in the Philippines. Probably you have some, I don't know, plan and things like that. What can you say to somebody who's not working yet in the Philippines, abroad, looking at the Philippines, thinking to move here, let's say maybe for a business? Is this country has opportunity for foreigner, investor? I know, you know, it's a growing country. We see things are growing everywhere, every day.
Okay.
Do you think that a foreigner who can go here, this is a land where there is opportunity, you can try to, you know, do business here?
I like that question. This is how I'm going to address it. If you're coming here to invest in the Philippines, you need, as a foreigner, Americans, I hope you guys are listening to me. Those from the continent of Europe.
And I also want you,
Africans,
not just American,
Africans,
even Africans, and anyone.
anyone in general. I would say, well, mostly those from the those outside the continent of Asia. I would just address those who are not Asians, for example, who are coming into the Philippines. I would say the first thing you need to have are good partners, local partners who you can trust. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you are coming into a new country, and trust me, you don't understand that country more than the locals themselves. There's no way you will know the Philippines more than the Filipino. It's his country. He was born here. He was born here. He went to school here. He knows everything. He knows most things that you don't know. Well, to an extent. And so, if you're coming over to the Philippines, there are opportunities here in this country. So many opportunities. I'm just going to cite some. For example, those who want to enter into the transport industry, Grab, anchors. All you need to do in this particular case, you just need to have a car you can buy. You don't necessarily need to have a new brand car.
Just Grab is the private car transporting people, and Ankas the private motorcycle transporting also individual.
I will talk in terms of transport. You buy a car, a second-hand car, which you can buy as a foreigner with your own cash anywhere from banks. I will advise you buy from the banks, because you know the banks at times people take loans to buy cars, and when they can't pay, the bank seizes the car. But these cars are really good. You can trust the quality of this car, so you don't buy from any random person. You buy such a car and you put it in Grab. Now, before you put into the Grab business, obviously they're going to ask you for certain documents, and some of these documents that they shall ask you for are documents that normally only a Filipino can provide. They might ask you for some certain technical document, like where is your government ID? You're not a Filipino, you cannot provide that ID. That is where the partners come in, and it's your role now to have honest partners. Once you find the honest partners, they are the ones who will represent you in front. So they are honest, you've signed contracts with them, they know how much they're going to earn from the business, and that is when, through them, you introduce the cars to Grab. You have the capital. They are the human resource. You have the capital. You do a partnership with them. In every transport fee, maybe you shall have 10 pesos, I shall have 50 pesos, and you sign. Once you sign a contract with them, then you introduce the cars into Grab. You have the capital. Remember, you're the foreigner with the capital. And that's how you grow your business in the Grab industry. That's just one. There's also the anchors, which is the motorbike. Two, you have now the food industry, which is something I know a little bit of. In the food industry now, what you need to do is you need to get people, partners, who will join you in the ownership of the company, because according to the laws of this country, and it's even in most countries, you cannot own 100% of the business here. You might own maybe 60% or 40%, and the locals own 60%. But then again, who are these people that are owning the 60%? Is it somebody you just randomly crossed the road and you saw him walking down the street and you said, please come and own my company? Is it somebody you met just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, you understand, Guy? And you said, come and be the partner? Is it somebody you know? Do you know his character? Do you know his family? Do you even know where his province?
And without cutting, and I want, sorry to cut you, but
Yes.
it's just like, I also wanted to say that this is what most of people are doing. This is where most of people are doing a big mistake when they come here in the Philippines. Because some are just coming here, getting married with random women, just to have the paper.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, the love is not really there.
There is no love.
They really, you know, the relationship is not built yet. They just the person just come. Maybe you meet a woman
After 2
somewhere.
weeks, he's married.
After 2 weeks, he's married.
After 2
Okay,
weeks.
let's build this business. And once you guys decide to break up, the girl has no regret to break up with you, because first of all, maybe she doesn't really love you that much. Maybe you guys didn't take time to know each other, and then at the end of the day, she stay with all your wealth, right?
Yeah, after 3 weeks.
And that's where also you will hear a lot say that I have a very bad experience, because when you will ask at first,
You need to
how did
investigate.
you start with your partner? It's just like 2 weeks getting
Gee.
married, and then let's do business.
Good.
So
Gee.
I think the partner that you're also talking is somebody that you know
who is this person that you're married?
you starting
Who is this person that you
know
married?
and for very long. And
Who is this
getting-
person that you married? Do
Yeah.
you know the person?
Not just a random person like
Yes.
that, because it's easy to get married here just randomly. Like you go there, you talk to a woman, sometimes they don't have that much
Yes.
money, you can just use your money to get married and stuff like that.
Yes.
But if you start investing, do not think that it's because you're married with somebody that the person is really
Yes. Do you guys even have a relationship in the first
Yeah.
place? I doubt it, because
that's what's going to protect your business.
yes,
The fact that you guys love each other,
Love
or
each
you have
other.
a good relationship.
that is why when there shall be problems, you guys shall fight to stay together.
Yeah.
Because you first of all love each other in the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
place. So you're fighting to stay together,
Or
no
even
matter the problems.
Sorry, even a simple good, because I also have a friend who has a business partner. They are not married. You don't have to necessarily be married.
Yes.
It can be a good friend or somebody that you just know, but you try to know him
First.
before jumping
Yes.
into.
So you don't just wake up one morning, you get one random guy crossing the
Yeah.
street whom you
And
had some few
put
couples
money.
of beers, or I mean, if it's a partner
Just
in
in
a
the
bar,
bar,
and then you said, "Bro, you know what?
This paper
You look like a good friend to me.
and then invest.
What do you think about being my business partner? Can you be part of the ownership of this company?" Are you kidding me?
There are honest people everywhere. There are also people that are not honest everywhere. So you may also encounter somebody who's not are really honest.
Are you kidding me?
So, I think you already got a lot of time, but we are going to end it soon. I can ask tons of questions, but anyway.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's just go back a little bit on your wife and the relationship at home.
Yes.
She already stepped in Africa. She already brought her
Yes,
in
I
Africa.
brought her in Cameroon in 2020.
Okay, you brought her in Cameroon.
Yes,
At
went to
home, how
Cameroon.
is it? Filipino food or African food? Which one is dominant? Oh, it's like 50-50. She's gonna watch the videos.
Yes, I know. Well, I would say, at home, I would say this. I would say majority of the food I eat here, Rebecca, is Filipino.
Filipino.
Yes, and the reason why I don't have any problem with that, I gotta be honest with you, is because the food is good.
But
Yes. Yes.
okay. So you already answered
Yes.
that question. The food
Yes,
is good.
The food is good.
I want to circle back again when you're talking
Yes.
food and business.
Yes.
Talking about business and
Yes.
food industry.
Yes.
Your brother African will probably want to hear it from you.
Yes.
Why are we not? Because when I walk here in the Philippines,
Good,
honestly, I
good.
see Chinese restaurant, Philippine
Yeah,
restaurant,
Thailand.
everything.
Japanese.
We have African here. We have sister and brother who are doing kitchen here. Why we don't see such things as African? Like those big restaurants where you can really
Yes,
get your
yes,
wife and
yes,
kids
yes.
and everybody
And bring and sit
into
down
date.
and have
I mean,
a-
there are some. There are some in
but
Makati and
why is it not
but not
prominent?
that much enough. Like when
Yeah.
you see some other countries, Chinese, European food and stuff like that. Since it's even a good business, and I think maybe some has a capital. What do you think on that one? What advice maybe can you give to our community to just get more into that business? Because for me, I think whenever I want to eat with my wife, I need to order food online and then it comes at home. But it's not always when you want to eat African food online. Sometimes you just want to go outside, sit down, eat in the nice area, fresh air, enjoy the food. What's your take or your thought?
That question gives me a heavy heart.
And you're even the founder of a very big market in WhatsApp. You have a very big group here where there's a huge community. I think more than what?
More than 1,000.
More than 1,000 people doing
Yes.
business there. But I'm not sure that you have 10 African restaurants store well known and well established here in the Philippines. What is that difference between the virtual and the actual reality?
Well, I'm going to answer this question from the depths of my heart.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you.
We want to hear.
I would say we have a fundamental problem. You know, I don't like generalizing in most cases.
Yeah, of
but
course.
There are certain things in life that I generalize. There are certain things in life that I take case by case.
Okay.
From the general tendency of Africans in the world as a whole, unfortunately, we are not very united.
We are not very, sorry, I didn't hear.
We are not very united.
Very united, okay.
Yes. And what is predominant amongst us is the crab mentality, whereby when your brother is progressing, you know, if you put crabs in a bucket, what happens is that when one crab is climbing up, the other crabs drag him down.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to climb out. So that's what's happening.
Everybody should stay in the basket.
Yes, stay in the basket. So at the end of the day, all of them stay in the basket because they call the crab mentality. So when the crab is trying to go out, the other crabs clinch on him, and then finally they all fall down. So they stay in the basket. That's what happens. Yeah, it's painful to hear, but they say the truth heals.
It's very painful because that one you generalize. You didn't say some Africans.
Yes, no, it's painful. That's why. Thank you for that again.
You didn't say some African. That one you say African.
I'm going to go on the majority,
brother.
I'm going to go on the majority.
You're shooting on us with with rocket.
Yeah, I'm going to be hard here.
Yeah.
Because I want us to change.
Yes.
I want us to change, and I'm saying it again from a position of love. Very important. Guys, I'm saying it from a position of love. You know, majority of us, or I'll take a general rule, we have the crab mentalities going on in the African community. And that's the reason why there's not a lot of businesses growing here in the Philippines and in the world as a whole from African descent. Because what's going to happen is that we get emotional when dealing with the owners of this business. If for one reason or the other, I'll just say from what my own observation.
Yeah.
If for one reason or the other, it happens that the owners of this business had conflicts outside their business with members of the community, what happens is that the members of the community, those who they have problems with, not only do they retreat, they carry others along with them. Let's say, for example, I have a restaurant business. For one reason or another, we're in a group chat, African group chat, and I happen to quarrel with certain members of the group chat. What's most likely to happen is that those whom we quarrel with will tell the others, hey guys, let's not go. So everybody retreats. Get what I mean?
Yeah.
So everybody retreats, and that reduces the momentum amongst the African community to grow. Because what we need to understand is that even if we have differences, as you always explain, we should keep it professional. I may have a difference with you.
Yeah, business is business.
I may have a difference with you, but if I hear you're launching a business, I should be able to go there.
Yeah.
Or at least talk about it. Guys, go. Even though I've not been there. So we have to be able to make the difference. But we carry everything along. We attach the emotions to it, and so we don't attend because we had a difference the other day on WhatsApp or whatever. We quarrel.
So that means somehow we can say that we don't have yet the business mentality, because the businessman doesn't really have a friend.
The business mindset. We don't have,
the businessman is that if you talk about money, I'm sitting on the table, let's do business.
Let's do business.
I don't have to love you. I don't have
After
to be
that,
your best friend.
I greet you. I go this way, right? You go this way.
That's what I think most of black in the US right now, they are really in that state of business. If you're talking money, I don't have any issue that you don't like this person or you don't like this person or don't like this person. You're talking about money.
The contract is there. We sign it.
I go. So we no personal emotion, just a business. Okay. So I hope our brother and sister who's hearing that, who are concerned. Again, not everybody is concerned by that. In that moment, I'm going to be the one to put the exception on that one. Not everybody are concerned by that, but
not everybody is concerned.
Are concerned by that. We are going to.
Yes, not everybody is concerned.
Yeah. So okay, we are reaching almost the end of the video, but before to definitely close this video, if you have a brother or sister in Africa, who's looking at you, and is about to come here in the Philippines right now, what are the advice are you going to tell him? What are you going to ask him to prepare, or what are you going to tell him to know before coming here in the Philippines?
The first thing I would say would be cultural integration.
Okay.
If you're living somewhere, if you're living outside the Philippines, you're living in Africa, or Europe or in the Americas, Antarctica, and you want to come to the Philippines, you have to understand that you need to understand, you need to integrate the culture of these people. They are not integrating to your culture. You are integrating into their culture. This is the base of everything. Because if you're unable to integrate the culture, how are you going to communicate with them?
So culture, one thing,
culture.
and get integrated to the culture.
Yes.
What's the other second thing that's coming in your mind?
The second thing I will have to say is you need to make friends.
Okay.
You need to make friends which are off the country. I'm not saying that everybody who comes here as a man needs to make friends with anybody you see. But you need to make friends with those who you feel have a genuine intention towards you. And the truth is you're going to find them. There is no country in this world where there's not someone who genuinely likes you or loves you. You will find, irrespective of the country in this world. When you find such people, which will happen, you keep them close. Because those are your friends. These are the people whom, if they hear as a local that you are in a trouble tomorrow somewhere, you can call them, and as a local, they can come and intercede for you as a local, and this as a foreigner. Because remember, when I say friends, I mean both local and foreigners. Because there might be this tendency, I won't generalize, where others don't want to mix and just have foreigner friends.
And yeah, just to close this one, that's remind me also one advice that I remember one of my teacher. I went to my first day of job and I find out my teacher in college was also working in that company, and then we met in the elevator, and randomly I told her, okay, I see you're already working here. As your former student, what advice can you give me to survive in this company and to last long? The only thing that she told me is that make friends, be friend with people. It's even more important than know your job. Because
yes,
it's your friend. The fact that you're friend with someone who's going to tolerate your failure, who's going to tolerate your miss. But if you ever know the job but you are not friend with people, it can easily create conflict, because at the moment that you make a mistake,
which you will make,
definitely you are not perfect, you can easily take you in the next level, because you know there is not that personal emotion. Yes, you're in the office work, and
but we're humans.
Yeah, you are humans, but
there's
you all
emotion.
make mistake, and at the moment that you're making mistake, only a person who's human like you is going to understand. So she told me make a friend, and I got that advice. Until now I'm still working for the same company. That was my first, and up to date it's still the same company. She
gave you the best advice.
Yeah, so anyway, thank you very much. You could have taken a bit longer, but I think you already take much more time than we were supposed to do. We just came from basketball. It's tired. I'm a little bit tired. I think we need to rest. Thank you guys for watching this video. Maybe we come back. He has a lot of steps that he can talk about. He even has a food business that he has on WhatsApp, a group. Yes. He has a Facebook page. I think that was Akos for charity and stuff like that. We're gonna come back on all those stuff, because foreigners are doing a lot of great stuff here, and it's among the foreigners that are doing a couple of great stuff that you can highlight it. But we don't want to make it too long right now. We're going to have it on another video. Thank you for participating for this video. We're going to have you for sure in another video. Thank you everyone, guys. Take good care of yourself. Keep watching, keep liking, keep sharing, and be bala.
Yeah.